So welcome to the fourth episode of Pop Up the Bar with Chief and Gate. I'm Gate, that's Chief. So we've been doing this for we've been doing this a long time, but this is the first episode we've recorded the same week we're releasing. So the last three episodes have been done kind of 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks in advance, just so we kind of worked out what we're doing. And now, I see myself as an established podcast host. Chief, do you?
Yes, and yeah,
Yes.
yes, I do. I know you were leading to me too there, but yes, I do. Established producer.
The behind the scenes while people get to look at both our faces.
Yeah, the alpha male of the group.
And his producer. So Dan, how was your last week? How was your trip to Spalding?
Yeah, it was very good. I told Tom just before we started this, I went down and saw some uni mates last week and went to the whole wrong place. I was a good half an hour away from where I needed to be. But yeah, it was kind of good to get back out into the world again and do.
Yeah, must have been. For most people, most of our listeners, I do hope, because I kind of know the demographic of our listeners, I know that I would hope that if they saw the words King's Lynn written down, they didn't decide Spalding was the place to go. Maybe King's North, you can get mixed up with King's North and King's Lynn, but Spalding and King's Lynn, potentially not. So I'm relatively disappointed in Dan, but also very proud of him because he managed to get himself alive, which was good. How was my week? Thanks for asking, Dan. My week's it's been quite good. It's just been a normal week for me. Today's been a bit of a rocky one, but I think we'll go on to that. But me and Dan have an anniversary this week. I can't remember exactly what day yours was, but I know mine. So we graduated 5 years ago this week. I actually graduated on the 22nd of July 2015. When was yours?
I thought mine was the 21st. I think mine was the 21st. I think it was.
Ash's was as well. So it was. So it's been 5 years since we graduated. I think, to be fair, that was a weird day because I remember obviously having to go and get your robe done. Trying to find a hat which was big enough for my head was quite an interesting one as well. Because the one I ordered, you've got a massive head as well, but the one I ordered was slightly too small, but luckily they had one with a slightly wider circumference. Maybe it was yours from the day before, I don't know.
Stretched it out a little bit.
Push it out a little bit. But it was definitely a good day. It was the first time I'd met a lot of my uni mates' family, which is always an odd thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it kind of struck me a little bit. I'm like, I can't believe it's been 5 years. I was like, it was so strange. I'm like, I can't believe it's 5 years ago. Where have those 5 years gone? It's great that we're all still in touch. We're great that we're all starting doing this thing. But another thing that's quite weird is that a lot of people now this year won't be doing it. Won't get that experience.
Yeah, my housemate is a mature student and he won't be graduating this year. He won't have his graduation. So we'd have to do something for him. But it isn't the same because I remember all raving together. There's a picture of us sociology and politics lads walking together, and it just looks like a scene out of history. If History Boys 2 was ever made, it looked like that, to be fair. Obviously, we talked about who would play me. In that instance, it would have had to be James Corden. No, Hector was not our lecturer. So it was definitely a good day. There was a lot of stuff that happened. To be fair, all I remember really is heading back to Catskill for a big party after graduation. Were you still around at that point?
I think so. I think I stayed over because I think I was probably back in work the next day or day after. But I can't work out what the grad ball confused me because I thought the grad ball was on the night of the graduation. I actually can't remember what I did on the night of the graduation. It must have been that good a night. But I can't remember what I did that day.
So grad ball was
mid-June-ish.
A few days before because it was about a week before because my girlfriend at the time was moving out the day after grad ball. So I remember having to help her move out of her flat. But then she came back. So it was a few days after. I mean, that was I really don't remember much of that night. It's still grab ball. We drank at Catskill. We hosted this huge pre-drinks. I mean, there was a lot of people from Catskill who were going to grab ball anyway. And then we had all of our university well, not all, but a lot of our friends off courses turned up, and everyone's suited and booted, and we went down to what was the Capital FM Arena. It's now Motorpoint. And it was just like, it incredible. Like, there was so much, when you walk around somewhere, you just see so many people, and just enjoy spending time with and stuff. And then to roll it off, we had, who did we have come down? Did Example come down?
Yeah, Example came down, yeah.
Example was there. So he played a set. And it was just, I can't remember who else played a set. Jess Glynn, I think, played a set. Katie B played a set. So it was quite a lit day.
I'm sorry for that, listeners. He's a few years too old to be using that.
What do you mean? Hey, on an off note, I posted a TikTok the other day.
That was funny. That was amazing.
Good TikTok. I'll share it on the once this has gone out on Tuesday. I might share it on the old Facebook so people can see the TikTok that we released.
Who gave you your degree, by the way?
Oh, don't, because she was an absolutely incredible woman for the life of me. So I remember looking at the names coming out, and I didn't have a clue who mine was. I remember seeing Mr. Jam was one of them. Was yours Mr. Jam?
No, I had Sat Baines, the chef.
You had Sat Baines, the chef, which would have been my life, literally. I literally love Sat Baines. I find him incredible. I had this lady who, honestly, the most incredible woman. She started to help save women whose husbands and partners had been killed in the Rwandan genocide. She was around London, so when the genocide was going on, she started this charity to help save the women who were living alone, support them with the kids and stuff. I mean, absolutely amazing. And it was a social sciences thing, so there was like politics students, sociology. So a lot of people would have kind of been interested in it. It's probably the most inspirational person I've ever heard talk, and I can't for the life of me remember her name, which is such a shame, because I'd love to point people in her direction, because it was really interesting. But yeah, I remember there was a video, because they recorded our graduations. Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw the video of mine.
No, I recorded the video of myself. I went back the next day because I'm a narcissist. If you hadn't guessed, listeners, I'm a narcissist. And I recorded myself walking across, and I didn't realise how excited I looked to receive this degree. My hand came down to shake the hand. It was like a proper manly, all right, Ray. And I heard Ash Tuttle, who will come up a lot on this podcast, and my mum in the audience kind of just whoop, a nice little whoop, absolutely silent, and then there's them two just whooping along. Probably my dad and John respectively, with head in hands, kind of going, "Oh gosh!" But it was good though, and 5 years ago is crazy. And I was chatting to Steve and Luke. Hello, I know you listen, Steve and Luke from Catskill. I was chatting to him the other day, and it kind of dawned on me how much fun we had. And then especially in the last year, I probably did more things socially than I did the 2 years prior, if I'm honest. But I just remember the graduation. Obviously Luke and Steve knew we were graduating, we were friends with them, and they just kind of said, as long as you're not idiots, sorry, I nearly saw that, as long as you're not idiots, just have fun, enjoy your last couple of nights together and stuff. And they were always like that. I remember them giving us kind of booze and stuff for parties, as long as we kind of advertised that it kept good, giving it to us and stuff, and so very attentive. So if anyone is listening that is actually at Trent at the minute, or is moving to go to Trent in the future, Catskill is definitely an accommodation to look at.
You have some really bad accommodation stories in uni, and even ones from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Oh no, that was quite good actually last week with Kyle. But yeah, I can't say a bad word about them. I lived there with them. I lived there for 2 years in a different house that we covered in episode 1, and yeah, they welcomed us with a like sign-in pack, which was full of like Twister, booze, Pringles, yeah, crisps. Like, what could you not like? But just like they were so attentive and just sort of like really, really good with what they did.
Yeah, and that's it now. That's the only free advertising we're going to give on this podcast. So, unless you're a fast food brand, then we're probably not going to promo you much more unless you give us money or more booze. So, Luke, Steve, Marta, if you're listening, you know what to do if you want more. I mean, we're happy to wear Ketskill t-shirts. It does just require a few bottles of beer each and maybe 150 quid. We'll discuss that out of hours. But yeah, 5 years ago, and I'm still making a fool of myself, Dan.
I can't wait to hear this story. He wouldn't tell me. He teased it earlier, and I really don't like that because I've not been able to concentrate all day. I've just been waiting for this moment right now.
It's horrible. So I text Dan when Dan texted me about podding today and stuff, and we didn't really know how today was going to run out with when we are going to do it and stuff, but I wasn't going to say anything to him about bringing it up because I wasn't sure I was comfortable bringing it up. But I brought it up, so I'm gonna continue. And seriously, at this point, Dan has no clue what happened this morning on my trip to the shops. So only one person in the world, and it's 6 o'clock on the 23rd of July, currently knows this story told by me. There were witnesses, which is why this story is even worse for me, better for you to listen to. Anyway.
Can we go back over just a few things over previous podcast episodes? One, he's had the funny Tyson Fury lookalike line back to some people in vans where all he could say was, "Oh, Tyson's shaved his beard." The other we spoke about was where he pretended that was on the phone in a shop and his phone started flashing in his hand and the ringtone went off. So is this topping those?
Yeah, I don't get embarrassed by things. This literally killed me. So anyway, wake up this morning, wake up about half an hour before I normally do. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to a Costa coffee. So there's no Costa coffees nearby, just a few shots of the machine. So I thought, why not? Let's go along. Went along to Costa Coffee. Thought, I'll pick up some bits for like lunch and dinner over the next few days. What have you? Had my trolley. And in one hand, I had a pint of milk. And in the other hand was a basket full of kind of healthy foods, just so you know, salads, a few beers. And I got to the point where I didn't really have any hands. So I had the coffee cup and the milk in one hand at one point, I think. Anyway, I thought, I just need to go and fetch some coffee beans or some ground coffee. So I went, the coffee I want to on the floor. So I do the wise thing, put the basket down, lean in, coffee in the basket up. I don't know how this happened. And I'm not going to name the shop because they may be embarrassed for this to go out about them. But one of their, so it was like a connector or something on one of the shelves, was poking out slightly. I had some fleece shorts on. My fleece short pocket got caught. I walked the other way, and because of the angle it was at, it kind of pulled my shorts down, which is fine. Apart from, there was lots of people around. So immediately, my face goes red because I know my underboxers, they're not overboxers, are they? My boxers are on shades of people. Then, when I hear the inevitable, and one person, no word of a lie, I don't know who it was, just went, oh God. Because I then realised lockdown, don't do it often. I'd just woken up, hadn't showered yet. I was commando. So there was about 10 people in this, and if I said the shop, I do apologise, in this shop who saw my right arse cheek. And to the person, I mean, in my head, I can only imagine the person that said, "Oh God," was the person that was at that correct angle to see the meat and veg. I would like to say sorry to everyone in said shop, and I'm never returning there again.
Oh, that lived up. That lived up. To be fair, this was a PC podcast until a couple of weeks ago, and now pretty much anything goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have questions, ask if you have questions.
I was going to balance it out with a story of my own to help you through this embarrassing process. Probably a little bit less embarrassing, but I feel like I kept the professionalism up at my time as well. So we went down and did we're at Nottingham Forest football ground, and the lads were doing just doing I think a winter kickabout before our Christmas party, and I'd gone down to help out and do some filming and end up in goal for a bit, and then kind of came off, and we did a crossbar challenge. So we did it proper soccer. Go on.
Is this with the cricket lads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did it proper soccer AM style. We've got 3 cameras set up. I'm holding a camera, and they're coming up and saying, "Oh, Peter Moore's aging veteran," or something like that is what he said on the video. And then I follow it all the way through, and luckily the second person who went hit the crossbar, because otherwise it wouldn't have been the best content if not. So we're going through. People aren't really hitting the crossbar, and then a work experience kid who's in the S&C department comes up and is just running up, and one of the cricketers has just gone before, and I wasn't in proper work gear because I'd been in net before. I was in some Nike tracky bottoms and a top. Luckily, I did have boxers on, which is going to be good in a minute, because as the guy's running to me, just about to take his shot and say, I think his name was Chris, a cricketer from behind kegs the trousers down. Just trousers down. Luckily, the boxers stay up, because I wouldn't have probably followed on, because I just stayed and followed him as he managed to ping it straight onto the crossbar. So if I'd have just stopped recording at that moment, he would have missed his shot. But you can see in the video, which I'll try and publish later on next week, one of the cricketers just pointing down the camera, i.e. at me, and just laughing, just like, why am I still recording like this? But yeah, it happens to the best of us, mate. I was like, you were undone. I was undone by a cricketer. You were undone by a sticky out label. But yeah, I don't think I have any questions. I don't know where to even begin with that. You said it was a very Tom thing to do. I hope he's not done it before. Yeah. But
I mean, no, accidentally. I know what people will want to know is they want to know, have I taken precautions since? Yes, the precaution I've taken is called a single trainer sock. So that will protect everyone's eyes for the inevitable next time that me arse falls out.
I think the felt shorts just need to go, and you need to put boxers on more regularly.
It's free country, isn't it? 2020. I'll wear my mask. I'm not going to wear my boxers.
Wear your mask down there. The mask down there would have solved the problem then.
To get around my waist, I need a tent. It's a 3-man tent down there, not 3 men down there. I don't really know where to lead off of that, if I'm honest.
To be fair, you did say we were going to finish on some good news, but I feel like we've given the listeners some good news with both of those stories. Embarrassing stories about us.
I mean, that is good news. There is one bit of good news I did find.
Go on.
So, if I'm a big animal lover. Lots of people know I love animals. And I had a bit of a sad time last week. We had to put our family dog, Terry, we had to put him down. He was an old boy. He provided lots of good memories and stuff. So it's been a bit one of them that when dogs have come up on Facebook, I've just kind of quickly scrolled past them. Some reason, and this is not blaming anyone, because people are just trying to be nice to me, but since Terry has passed away, people keep sending me kind of cute pictures of their dog privately to kind of go, "Oh, you can come and see my dog anytime you want," which is really nice. I really enjoy that. But at the same time, I'm in mourning. Please don't do that. But a good news story. Some people think it's a good news story. Some people are like, "Why have you brought this up?" So in the year 2022, 23 maybe, they're introduced, you might have seen this, they're introducing 60,000 bison back to the UK. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. No.
No. So I just stumbled across this story earlier today, and I was like, that's absolutely incredible, because the only time I've seen bison are in a zoo, apart from one bison I've seen, weirdly, just down the road from Derby Rugby Club. There's, I swear it's a bison. It can't be a buffalo. It's got to be a bison, because they used to live in the UK anyway. So they used to own houses, have special bison shops. They didn't. Dan's looking blankly at me if you're not listening, but they don't have shops for bison to go and get their shopping from. But they're introducing 6,000 bison. But yeah, there's a bison down the road from Derby Rugby Club. If you live in the area, I don't know if he's still alive. Probably not. It was quite a long time ago. But yeah, introducing 60,000 bison to the UK countryside, because supposedly they're quite an important. They figured out they were quite an important species to have roaming the lands. So I don't know if that's because maybe cattle's gone down, or it's an alternative to wild cattle. But imagine going for your daily walk and you come across a herd of bison. I don't know what my reaction would be. It'd be a great novelty, but also at the same time, a tiny little bit of wheat would come out in fear, I think.
Yep. Yeah. That they can take you on.
They can cause some serious damage, to be fair. I think even I'd put money on a bison beating me, if I'm honest. They're quite hefty creatures. I can just see it now. You know the whole Fenton video where the dog's running off, and can you imagine, we're going to have videos of border collies trying to herd these bison, and it's just going to be.
You see, I have a different vision in my head, because I know if me and you went out on a walk and we saw bison, you'd probably chase them. So I'd just be in the video going, Tom, get back in.
There's a high probability I'd try and pretend I was a bison to fit in. It's like, I've never done this. I don't wish to do it, but cow tipping is a thing. Imagine, I wonder if people bison tip. I don't know if bison sleep standing up like cows.
Like that meme, like day 32. They do not know I'm not one of them yet.
Imagine, I was just dressed up as a bison and sat there for a year and just munching on grass. I was listening to a podcast the other day talking about cattle, and they were talking about how do you know what way, like cows know it's going to rain, they sit down. Supposedly they sit down. Only animals we know that sit down because of the rain. No one's really sure why. No one's asked them. Supposedly as well, you know which way the wind is blowing by the way a cow is facing. Now, this might sound like a bit of an out there method to find out what way the wind is blowing. But surely, if you're in a position you can see cows anyway, normally you're outside, so normally you should really know what way the wind's blowing. Am I right? It's like when you listen to the weather forecast, 6:30 weather forecast, they tell you what the weather's going to be like at 6:30. They're like, currently it's raining. They're like, if you really need that information, you need to buy a house with windows. This is one of the main. I'm getting annoyed now. This is one of the thing that annoys me the most is when someone asks Siri, "What's the weather like today in Nottingham?" You've got a window. Look out the window. You can't be going out for that long to not be able to judge by the way. I know we have changeable weather. Sometimes it's sunny in the morning. Sometimes it's windy in the afternoon. I get that. If you want to know what's happening I'm getting angry. Sometimes you want to know what's happening 12 hours later. I get that. If I'm popping to the shop, I don't need to ask Siri what time, so what the weather's doing.
No, you just need.
Annoyed at this? Maybe we need a part of the podcast which is just me ranting because it's annoying. Lots of things annoy me. That's one of them.
Something like what grinds goat.
What grinds goat? Do you know what ground me down the other day? Grinded my gears. So I wasn't even. This is how much of a grumpy old man I've become. So all my friends that knew me at uni as this happy-go-lucky, that little rat has gone. It's just grumpy now. The lady next door sweeps all the leaves and the twigs and the rubbish into a little mound outside the house, just to make the pathway a little bit cleaner. Because obviously, in hindsight, wet leaves aren't a very nice thing to have to walk through, and so on and so forth. I heard, so my housemate tried to park in a normal parking spot outside of our house, and the lady had brushed all of her leaves and stuff into the parking space directly outside our house, so there was no longer a parking space, it was covered in leaves. I had no right to get angry at this point because it's not my car, I can't drive, I'm not bothered about parking spaces. I got irrationally angry. I was planning what I would say to her if I saw her doing it. Is that wrong?
I don't know, mate. You can get angry at whatever you want, but it feels like we've kind of gone away from the good news segment of the end of the podcast into what grinds your gears.
So that's enough of me moaning and talk about stuff that grind my gears. I will obviously bring something to the table next week for us to, for you to pity me and for me to get off my chest, because there's a lot of stuff that annoys me in the world. I don't know what that's meant to be. Is that meant to be a heart?
Yeah.
I mean, to those who listen on Spotify, Apple or Deezer, that's not going to help. But yeah, so watch out for our social media. We now have an Instagram, which I forgot to say at the start. So obviously we're on Facebook, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Deezer, we're on YouTube. That's where you can watch our stuff. Facebook, we do put some little bits of content out. If you go to Instagram, it's prop_up_the_bar. In hindsight, probably should have taken the underscores out for it to be easier. I'm sure if you search up Prop Up the Bar, Chief and Goat, it will come up. There's links on the Facebook page as well, so follow us on there. I think hopefully as we delve in and we've got ourselves running up a bit, we might see some few kind of little competitions come out. Nothing major, no £1,000 prizes. Just little fun things. So keep in contact with us there. You can now we're doing live podcast effectively from kind of three days before we launch. You can send us your questions in. If you have any questions for me, any questions for Chief, you can message us on Insta, or you can just use the message function on Facebook. There's an automatic stuff set up there, and we'll pick anything up, any suggestions, message us nice things. But yeah, get in contact with us. We'd love to talk to you. If there's anyone from our university career we know that you'd like to hear on the podcast, if we think they've got decent chat, we'll put them on. But yeah, get in contact, send us any ideas for content. It's all yours. Have you got anything to say, Dan?
I think it's been very informative chat today. We've learned a lot about how to embarrass yourself in public and about cows and bisons. So I think, I tell you what, we cover a breadth of topics here on Prop Up the Bar. So
we do, and just a kind of a pre-warning. In the next few podcasts, we are going to do so like last week. We had a bit of fun with Gibbo, and then we also talked about the Black Lives Matter movement. In the next few weeks, we will kind of talk about things like mental health in lockdown and other stuff. Just because we know how valuable it is, and we're all in a kind of a similar position at the moment. So we'll tick off some more kind of interesting topics as well, apart from me getting my knob out in a shop. You might have to bleep the word knob, and that one as well. Knob 3 times 3 bleeps. Or we just put an 18 plus on it, didn't we? Like we did last time. Knob, knob, knob. Anyways, have a good day. See you later, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Love you all. Bye.
Love you. Bye, knob.